all season how growing up in Kansas, you wanted to at one point be sporting that orange singlet and living moments like this. Obviously, you had your fair share of success at Air Force, but to finally be in that moment you've always grown up dreaming about, how does it feel? Can you put it into words?
Yeah, I mean, it feels, it's an absolute blessing. It's not always easy. The route's always different. God always creates obstacles, but he does that for a reason. He wants us to, if my path, if I could do it my way, it'd always be a lot easier, but God's path is a little bit difficult, but I'm grateful for the hard journey. It's going to prepare me for the national tournament. It's going to prepare me as a leader and, the rest of my career.
Did you know going into that last match that the team score was tied? Did you know going in, or did you?
No. Actually, I like to remove myself from the. I talked to you guys about that. I like to remove myself from the arena, and I kind of caught myself wanting to watch the guys because I love my team. I want to support them and watch them wrestle. But I did a good job at kind of staying in the back. I wasn't paying attention to that, and I'm glad I did that. It's good to just focus on myself, because when it comes down to it, if I'm just wrestling for myself and pretty much if that's my main goal, then it's going to be a great match. I'll be okay. Just a small little tweak. Nothing serious. I'll be good to go.
What were you saying to Coach when you were down on the mat? What did you say to Coach, when you were trying to figure out, am I going to go back, or what was that like?
Yeah, I was just kind of talking through what was going on. I'm like, let's just taking a second to recollect and make sure we're okay, because the last thing we want is, to push through something and get hurt so I can't wrestle the national tournament. So we were just kind of assessing what was going on, making sure I'm good to go and finish out the match and finish it out.
Does it, if it's possible to mean more, does it mean a little bit more the fact that you regardless of how severe it is,
I like adversity. I talked to coaches about that, and I've had a lot of dominant wins this year, and at the NCAA tournament, it might not be that easy. It's definitely not going to be a cakewalk by any means. So facing some of those hard situations now is just going to prepare me even more for the national tournament, because when it comes down to it, if I got to tough out a couple matches to be the champion, I've done it a couple times, and I'll be more prepared for it.
Did you see anything different from Colin this time around?
He's really good at using his momentum a little bit. He's a big Greco guy, so I think whenever he capitalizes on my shots that I don't, keep my head up, I feel it. And he did a great job of that, but at the same time, I got to make sure I'm still wrestling my same match, and it really doesn't matter whatever my opponents are doing. I like to wrestle the same every time and just be myself.
Was it when you initially had the injury, were you worried that it was more serious than it turned out to be?
I think, it might have been a little bit of an overreaction. I think I was just worried for what it could be, and I sat there and all right, I'll be okay. It's nothing serious. I'm not gonna, I'm not broken. But even if I was, I think it's, that we had to talking that through. But I'm good to go. I'll be okay.
Wyatt, as soon as he got that takedown and went ahead 4-3, what was going through your mind at that point?
Colton's really good at those positions, and you don't feel it coming. He's really good at that. So, that position where if it feels too good to be true, it probably is. And he did a great job at guiding me to feel like that little roll through was something good for me. But he capitalized on it, scored on it. That's just good wrestling right there. So I got to applaud him for that, and I'll be more cognizant next time I wrestle him if I ever do.
I guess. But from that moment on, your mindset, did anything?
Oh no, I got a good little time to reset. I think it's like we talked about, usually my wins are a lot more dominant, but it was a good test for me to just recollect myself and, go back to my basic strategy and just keep scoring points, and I did. I went out there and, shot, scored another takedown.
Wyatt, it seems like...
I expect your teammates to bounce back in national football. Got playing the finals tonight and then came up short. I expect them to bounce back.
Yeah, I think it's just I think we need to bring it back to just having fun. I think a lot of times we can get caught up with it and, you get lost in the sauce. It's our home arena. We got a lot of fans here, a lot of excitement, a lot of emotion, and I think sometimes we want to fill some big shoes. Oklahoma State hasn't been on top in a long time, and trying to do that, it's not an easy task. And I think maybe sometimes we let our emotions dictate what we do a little bit too much. So I kind of already know what this week's training will look like. A lot of times after something happens, Coach Taylor will play some games, just we'll have a bonding moment. We'll just bring it back to the core values. We're a family, so I think we'll see a lot of that. And whenever we go out there and wrestle at the national tournament, we're not just going to be doing it for ourselves, but we're going to be doing it for the guys on our left and guys on our right.
Yeah, it seems like time and time again you have been atop the championship at 285 in the Big 12, but now you're a part of a team championship. Just tell me what that's like for you.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Oklahoma State's got a legacy of being very dominant and being very prestigious. So being a part of that, it's an absolute blessing. I think being loyal is really, really important. And if I could have been at Air Force in the 5th year, I would still be there. But having the opportunity to come here is just an absolute blessing. And ever since I was a kid, before I went to Air Force, I wanted to be an Oklahoma State Cowboy. So kind of being able to do both is it's an absolute blessing. I'm very blessed.
We asked David a lot of questions about getting the chance to celebrate. Y'all won the conference championship. David talked a lot about nationals. I'm betting that doesn't surprise you that he's already intently focused on that.
Yeah, I think we need to have a goal in mind, and throughout the season we've had very short-term goals. It's been duel after duel, and within those small goals you have big-term goals. We were looking at the calendar 6 months ago, and we wrote down in the national championship. So I think as we're getting closer and closer to that, we're excited. So it's kind of maintaining those jitters, because I know for me, at the beginning of the season, I've always just looked forward to the end, and it's great, but at the same time, it's I don't appreciate my day by day. I look too far ahead. So it's kind of exciting that we've done it the right way. We've been patient, but now that's the next thing on our goals list is lining up. We've checked all the boxes, and now the nationals is the next big piece of it. So it's very exciting, because nothing else in the year matters. The only thing that the biggest thing that we're all looking forward to that matters the most is going to be the NCAA championship. So we're excited to put on a good show and bring home that national championship.
One or two more.
What was it like seeing the Air Force guys again?
I loved it. They're still my brothers. Even seeing the guy, I had to wrestle some of them, but they know that I still got a big love for them, and of course they're still supporting me in my journey. And it was pretty exciting to see them again, because I'll still be going back to Colorado to train with them for years to come. So it's very exciting.
This weekend, the most autographs you think you've ever signed in your life?
It's been a lot, but I love it. I think it's really important to inspire the youth. I remember as a kid, whenever I remember I was at Nebraska and Jordan Burroughs, I got his signature, and it's that inspiration that builds that love for the sport. So if I can share that on, I'm not going to leave here till I get every single person inspired in one way or another. So it has been a lot of autographs, and but I think it's an important part of the sport is it's giving back and inspiring those guys, because someday I'm going to be 40 years old, and a guy who I signed, he might be here on the stage just like I am today. So.
Is the end different? That you talked about looking forward to the end. Is it different this year because there's not another year coming? Last year I know you knew that you could maybe, if you wanted to, how to do the COVID year.
I thought last year was it, to be honest with you. I wasn't looking forward to any more wrestling, so it's kind of the same thing again, like part two. But I'm just excited. I'm gonna go out there and wrestle the very best I can and have fun, because at the end of the day, it's more than wrestling to me.
Last one, if anybody has it.